Good morning. Hi, Colin Dart, Mile High Modern, checking in this September with an August market update. Also, just a conversation on the third into the fourth quarter, and then perhaps some predictions as well into 2022. What I would like to start with really is if you're considering making a move between now and the end of the year or at any point next year, I think it really is time to start looking at your specific market and the type of transaction you're trying to execute. A well-engineered, planned for, customized, and strategic transaction will be the winner regardless of what side of the coin you're on. Feel free to reach out, here to support on that. Now, diving into it, what we're seeing in August is a little bit exciting from a realtor's perspective. I think exciting from a market perspective because we've been coming out of one of the most intense, fast-moving, quickly appreciating, insatiable buyer demand markets that we've ever seen. Probably the most intense seller favorable market we'll ever see in the Denver and Boulder homes market. That would be 2021. We're coming out of that. We're entering into a little bit of seasonality. So this is something that we've been experiencing now since 2013, where we have a phase of growth starting in kind of mid to late February, all the way through to June, July, August, depending on kind of the year. Usually ends towards late July. We peak out, and then we start our kind of retraction phase. So this is a time of year where you're going to see prices go down a little bit. We've seen that reflected in the numbers, both in Denver and Boulder. Average sold prices down. Days on market increase ever so slightly. These aren't pronounced crazy changes, but these are changes that are doing a few things. On the buy side, this will allow those of you that have had challenges in the market to get out and execute a transaction. Equally so, those of you that may be looking for a deal, not many out there, and if you're looking for a really well-polished, very nicely finished and well-located home, those are still going for 5 to 10% over list price, and I anticipate will be for the rest throughout probably 2022. So buy side, this is a very important window to take advantage of. And I say that because I anticipate next year, while we won't have exactly the intensity that we did in 2021, we will still be very desperately short on inventory. And if we have buyer demand that kind of reflects what it did this year, it's going to be another hot and heavy year. So on the buy side, really great window. It doesn't mean that you need to get it done now before the end of the year. I think the interest rates will more than likely remain relatively low for next year. They will creep up. Sales side, if you're going to be listing now between now and the end of the year, what to look out for, just make sure that you're, as always, properly marketed, properly priced. You have a great marketing strategy, photography, online presence. All of those things are leading to great transactions on the sales side. Cutting corners is going to be the kiss of death, especially this time of year. But I would argue, even in what I would anticipate will be an intense seller's market next year, cutting corners will just mean that you're going to leave with 2% over list versus 7% over list. Don't do it. Stage, get the best photography. I'm here to support with that. I've been doing staging for every one of my listings this year, and I think that it ends up really returning, as well as the photography and the general marketing strategy that I put together. So, last thing I want to talk about is inventory. Inventory is creeping down a little bit lower than I'd like to see it. 2020 to 2021, we're actually down 30% at the end of the month. So August 2020 to 2021, we're 30% less inventory closing out August into September. I'm going to watch that closely because I assure you, if we continue this trend, which we may, seasonality generally does dictate inventory decreasing throughout the year, we may be in a position where we're closing in December 2021 with the lowest inventory we've ever seen on record. And that's going to mean that next year is going to model somewhat like we've seen in 2021. So it's going to be a seller's market. There's going to be more buyers than sellers out. It's going to be appreciating. It's going to be competitive. And I'm here to support regardless of where you find yourself in that world. 2021 was really interesting. I'm always glad to get on a call and talk through what that looked like and how to position yourself in a really good way to tackle what 2022 may have in store for you. As always, take care. I will talk to you next month. Never hesitate to reach out. Ciao.